Hi, everyone. Henry DeVries from Agency Rainmaker TV. And from the great state of Texas, I have Eric Stopper with me today. Eric, what are you going to talk to us about?
I am going to talk about who I serve and how I serve them AI and automation.
Ooh, AI, important topic. So, Eric, who do you serve? Who are your clients?
Yeah, so we serve a lot of coaches. I'll tell you, we actually started in the functional medicine space, and
Yep.
everything that we did was wellness focused. And at first, we were doing all advertisements. It was Meta and Google and TikTok and anywhere that you could get a cost per click. And in 2023, Meta betrayed all of us. A lot of people will remember those summer months. Our cost per acquisition like 8x all of a sudden, and it just made the business, tore the business apart. And so we ended up doing taking a long look in the mirror and, a quasi sabbatical. And I had another kid during that time as well. It was a wild time, 2023 to 2024. And so we pivoted and we thought, okay, what is it that we are really good at? And it turns out that the thing that we were best at was this process of using bots to nurture leads that were generated, right? It wasn't even
Okay.
necessarily the lead generation itself that was the key. It was the fact that like you can't trust a front desk person to follow up with a lead that comes and finds you on Google. That was the basic thesis. Is like, oh, a lead comes
Okay.
in finding you, you can't the front desk person is there to be at the front desk. We're talking like clinics, right?
Right.
So we expanded our scope and we work with entrepreneurs who change people's lives. So anybody that's got a business that is helping folks improve. So we've got a great organization called Octagon Mentoring, who takes like troubled kids and young adults who are having issues, and like they have like a whole ecosystem of resources that and they'll take them like to Costa Rica on like an adventure trip to help them regulate and get their life back in order. So we help them by creating this communication nexus using AI to have the providers and the parents of these kids and young adults and the young adults themselves get access to the resources that they need. And it's all knit together with this AI large language model that we've built internally. So there's that, there's coaching, we still serve clinics, we serve lots of folks who are in like the executive and speaker and author space. And so if you go check out our podcast, PulseOx, a lot of those people are the folks that we serve. So it's entrepreneurs and anybody that's trying to make a difference in the world.
You interested me, and I wanted you on the show because one of the things we advocate is authority marketing, be an authority in a space. And today that requires a lot of communications. I did receive something the other day, and I asked the person, I said, are you a bot?
Hmm.
And they said, well, some days it feels like it, but no, I'm a sentient being. Um, which reminds me, if you the little thing you check, are you a robot? If you are a robot, how do you know? So that's why I wanted you on. You're in this world. Tell people what you do for these authors and experts and authorities and these people who are health authorities. Certainly, you're in that space too.
Yeah, we've actually boiled it down to something real simple. Recently, in the last like 6 months, we've really dialed it in to tell you the truth. And a lot of folks are afraid of AI and automation. It spooks them out. They're worried it's going to take their jobs or whatever. And anybody who's paying attention knows, if they've watched the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? Like his dad loses his job to a robot, and then he gets a job fixing the robot, and that's the way of things. That's how it's going to work. But
Yeah.
the conversation that I find myself continuously having is this one. I want you to think about, and this is for all the agency owners out there, especially those that are locked in sales. If you're stuck in sales, right, this is especially for you, and you need to give it up. You need to let that flow down the creek and hire a freaking salesperson right away. Soon, you can do it. I promise. Make sure to build good training. Anyways, so the conversation that I have with each of these business owners is if you had 100% of your energy to devote to the ideal customer. You know, you've identified them, you found their profile on LinkedIn, you've got their website, you know how much money they're making, you know how long they've been in the role, you know what their budget is. They're perfect. They are the perfect one. I want you to think and map through when you call them, what time do you call them? What is the message that you leave with them when they inevitably don't answer? What is the follow-up email that you send them? What is the LinkedIn message that you sent them? What do you invite them to? What's like the first entry level value that you're going to try to provide to them? When you get on a call with them, what are the things that you send them after the call, right? What do the booking reminders look like? 100% of energy to the one, your ideal customer. If you can map out what that looks like on a call just like this, literally we record everything that you talk about and how you would like that journey to look. I can multiply that by however many people you want to send that out to, by your total addressable market. We create those automations to make it look and feel exactly like you. A lot of people are worried like the AI is going to bother people too much, or it's going to like follow up with them, or it's going to get it wrong, or it's, you know, it's going to bombard them with a bunch of information. It's going to like, you know, hit all the spam triggers. It's like, no, how would you do it? You would, you know, leave them a voicemail and you would connect with them on LinkedIn and you'd send them an email, right? And then probably a day later, you'd follow up with them. Ideally, they call you back so you can text them. And then what does a text look like and how pushy are you? We program the bots based off of who you are. It's not like we have this grand scheme for like, here's the best, most aggressive closer in the world, and we're going to insert that person into your business. We say, who is the fullest expression of you targeting your ideal customer? Let's replicate that into AI and roll it out to your entire audience.
That makes too much sense. That's too logical there. Um, and then that's different than the ones that we hate that are hi. My favorite, Eric, was the first approach was they were asking to be my life coach.
Mm.
And I said, yeah, usually you've got to buy me dinner and take me dancing before you offer to be my life coach. So, yeah, nobody likes that too aggressive thing, but yours sounds like replicating the real experience. So that's great. So, a lot of pressure for you to be a rainmaker because everybody's looking how you make it rain. How do you make it rain? How do you find clients and prospects for your business?
Yeah, that's a good question. So what is working? So I think that it's real easy for me to sit here and say like uh the basic blocking and tackling, of course, is important, but I've spent the last decade really curating a really solid network.
Right?
And I'm mostly like, I'm just really interested in meeting cool ass people as often as I can. And I travel around this world. And I think that just based off of how other people are mistrusting of others, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm attracting folks that are just so cool. I've lived all over. And everywhere that I go, call it privilege. Maybe I'm just privileged. I get to be a tall white male wherever I'm going, so things are easy for me. Maybe I don't know, but everywhere that I go, people are just so friendly and they're so cool and they're so interesting too. All their stories are just fascinating, and it's cool because everybody's got this slightly different lens that they see the world through, and I'm really interested in that. And so, what I've been told about my genius zone, we'll call it first, or just like the
Okay.
general vibe that I'm going through things with, is I'm really good at connecting with people. And it's one of those things where if you ever watch like a YouTube freestyle rapper, when they're in a call like this, they're looking at your shirt and the books behind you and the pens and the letters and the maps, and they're trying to come up with words that match those things that are in your surroundings. And that's the fun of it, right? It's like, oh, if I can connect the things that are in your environment and the words that you're saying to me, if I can make a connection that way, then you're going to have a funner conversation with me. We're going to have a more productive conversation. The odds of us working together are going to go up. And so, that's my superpower, is being able to like flow into a connection with people and make them feel comfortable. Now, how I apply that, the thing that's really working, I'll give the whole playbook away. And in fact, we have this
Sure.
as a playbook on our website. You can go and download it for free. So we invite people to our podcast. We invite them to the podcast, and everybody's tickled pink to be there. Here I am, tickled pink to be on your podcast, right? So it's an
Right.
absolute pleasure. And we have a two tap, an info session. And then we have the podcast itself. To tell you the truth, not everybody's good for a podcast. So there's some people that it's like, like you're not a great storyteller and you're not really like, a good fit for our audience. So, we're going to respectfully decline. But most of the folks have a pretty good story to tell. I keep it real broad. And so I ask people about their stories of self discovery, right? When did you learn something about yourself? Set the scene for me. How old were you? What was the temperature outside like? And what did you learn from the experience that you had? And I'll tell you, man, people have gone through a lot of really difficult things. And so those are the stories that typically rise to the top. So, anyways, we have this info session. On the info session, I ask them anything that I want to ask them about their business, about their team, about whatever their dreams, their aspirations, because they want to make sure that I have all the info from them to have a really good podcast. And then, 9 times out of 10, they're a good fit and they're really, going to be awesome to have on the show. I can pull a cool story out of them. Most people are like, oh, I have too many stories. Like, I don't know where to pick. And I'm like, cool, let me help you pick. So it serves two purposes, right? Number one is like they're usually interested in working together in some way or becoming an affiliate or partnering in some fashion. And then I get to create content with them and for us. So it's a win-win-win-win across the board. And then I get everybody into a mastermind. And so all of my guests are a part of a mastermind that lives on WhatsApp with me, and I can just invite all those folks to a webinar. And I'll tell you, I haven't sold a single thing to any of those in the webinar. It's just like having fun. Like our last meetup, our last mastermind meetup was all about a 7-day fast that I completed and the learnings that I had from that. I just let everybody get to know each other and told that story. And man, there were tears in the webinar. It was so fun. So you keep it organic, you keep it value driven, and you invite them in that funnel. It's the strongest funnel that I've ever created in my whole career, and it just serves me and it serves all of my clients and my partners well, because I've created this nexus of really incredible entrepreneurs that I can work with or refer out.
That's a wonderful answer, Eric. I I think it's the anti-funnel you've created.
Mm.
It's not the meat grinder sending people through and throwing out. You've used the word connections several times. Um, I've discovered over the years that um, it's not about strangers you're meeting on the internet. It's about connections, real connections you're forming and being helpful. And the more helpful you are, the luckier you get at this. So you sound like a really lucky guy because you're very helpful. That's the
Thank
time
you.
we have for today. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Eric, before we bid adieu?
We've got an incredible gift on our website right now. If you want our AI tools, it's normally $500. We've got them for $99 right now. You go to profitable.com, Profit, like money, profit, the letter I, and then the animal bull, Bull, profitable.com. And you'll get that coupon if you go there. And go check out the Pulse Ox podcast. I'd love to have you there and get the feedback. And Henry, I'm excited to have you on that show as well.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Until next time, make it rain.